It is Tuesday, April 26, 2022, and it is Tuesday's Tittle Teatime Predictions Update. My name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman J.T., here to bring you love, light, truth, predictions, and prophecy. I welcome you back to my channel, and I welcome you to my channel if you are new. And if you are new to the channel and you like today's content, be sure to subscribe down below, click the bell, followed by all. Check your cellular devices to ensure that you get notifications. And even if you've done all that, go back and double check, because very often people's notifications get shut off or they become unsubscribed. And you can check back here every single Tuesday at approximately 4:20 p.m. Pacific time, because I'm here every Tuesday. And sometimes in between too. So check it out. I thank all of you for joining me today. I hope you're having a beautiful, amazing Tuesday and a first day of the pre-shadow of the Mercury retrograde. One of our friends hanging out on Zoom in the Awaken Your Spirit community on Subscribestar, you can check that out down below. Had car issues today. One of my friends I read on social media has car problems today. And I didn't only just check to see just 10 minutes ago to see that, yeah, it actually starts today, y'all. It starts today, so it'll be interesting. Next Tuesday, I'll go into more detail because it will be the first Tuesday in May, and we'll do some more May predictions. And again, if you're new here, new to my channel and so forth, thank you, whether you're new or been here before, for your love and support. People that send things through to me through chat cash and such, I couldn't do it without you. I love you for that. And you can find, again, all my links are right down below. Don't forget to click the like button along the line sometime in today's broadcast. And what I do every Tuesday is I go over different stories that may relate to predictions and prophecies, along with mixing in information, updated information on those predictions and prophecies, along with always some new predictions and such. So that's why you got to tune in every week to really see what I talk about. Because very often people leave comments down below. Well, what do you think about this? Or what are your opinion of that? And all subjects that I talked about. So that's why I won't respond to comments, because there's just too many on that aspect. But again, usually most of the time, 99% of the time, it's something I discussed. So hang out every Tuesday if you want to be up to date with things and current news stories. Some of my topics today are going to include North Korea updates, disruptions in our weather systems, the attack that is on our food system, along with attacks coming on the railway systems and other transport systems, and more coming, shocking predictions and events. So hang out with me. We'll be here together today for at least 45 minutes or so, however long it takes to go through all these topics. And let's start with the most important topic. And again, not all you get notifications or see all my videos. So make sure you go back to my channel and check it out. I just did a weather video, which usually is very popular. For some reason it wasn't. Thank you, Monica. I love you with infinite love and gratitude for your chat cash support. And anybody else, if I missed anybody. What was I saying? Oh, so food. So I did a special broadcast on past Friday, on our food systems and such. This is something that goes back as far as January of 2020 in my predictions. And all of this is coming into play little by little. But here's the thing, y'all, there is a big, huge war going on in the astral world against dark and light. And that is now touching base physically on the earth. And Lucifer's unleashed his demons on the planet. But the heavens have unleashed the angel warriors as well. And therefore, they are trying really hard to reach an agenda. And if you're not aware of that agenda, then you definitely need to be hanging out a little bit more often, because there's proof and evidence of this, and they put everything right out in front of us. And things like, where are they at? Like the Illuminati cards. They literally put everything right out in front of our faces in movies and such, and then they do it. Years later, they even put it out in paperwork, like, the agenda 2030. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Agenda 2030. Things like that. They put it out in front of us. But folks, we need to be concerned right now. Very concerned. And I've been urging you for years now, over 2 years, and will continue to urge you, especially now with spring on the northern hemisphere, and then even on the southern hemisphere where they're celebrating fall, they can even start to prepare for take time over the next few months to prepare for what they're going to do come springtime on the southern hemisphere. As far as growing your own food and being prepared, jarring things, canning things, do it the best you can. If you have a windowsill in your kitchen, you can grow herbs or at least lettuce or things like that. But a breakdown of our food systems is happening, and an attack on our food production and our processing plants is happening in America right now. Well, folks, to add to the predictions with this is what we do on Tuesdays. This trend is about to hit the United Kingdom, Canada, and other countries as well, so be aware. The attack, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on that in just a moment. The attack on our food systems, I talked about it in Friday's video about the plane that crashed into the Idaho potato processing plant. And then the other plane that crashed into the General Mills plant. Both plane crashes, both I think the same day too, actually, or at least back to back. No, that's nothing in comparison to what actually happened and what's been happening. And you can do your own research on this. I'm going to give you a little bit of a clue into it, a little bit, without wasting time, and allow you to do your own research. You know, because, people always like to jump into, oh, it's conspiracy or it's this, especially when they're in a place of fear. Fear really knocks people out of whack, right? And when they're in fear, they don't want to listen to what you got to say. They don't want to hear anything about them not being able to eat. And they're not going to prepare. And they're the ones that are going to be ravaging in the streets, which will correlate with some more predictions that I'm going to throw out in a few minutes. But let me bring up these two things that I wanted to show you. Let's talk about this one first. Just to give you a briefing. So we know what just happened with the Kellogg's factories, right? And the potato processing thing. I made a prediction about shortages and all that a long time ago, years ago, but I also mentioned potatoes came up, I don't know, within the past 6 months, I think, and French fries. Did you know that in Japan right now, somebody just informed me, and my friends in Japan, please confirm down below. Thank you, KDC, for your donation. I love you. And you're watching with your kids. That's awesome. Hey, kitties. Hi. Hey, little kitties. So anyway, let me read this to you first. Let me go back to this. The fight on our food. So yeah, Japan, our friends in Japan. I have lots of friends there. Of course, they are also making money off of me, which is not cool at all, but whatever. And why can I not see this on my computer? Oh, it's all blurred out. Why not? I'll have to post this on my social media. But just to give you a quick rundown, there have been fires, and mostly fires in all these food processing plants all over the United States. Fire erupts in a meat processing facility in Lackawanna County. Crews battle a major fire in Cobb County meat company. Explosion causes a fire in an Oregon potato chip manufacturer. Potato chips. It goes back to potatoes. Why are they attacking potatoes so much, right? Why potatoes? Because lots of things, you can use potatoes. We're going to build ourselves out back, me and my buddy next door, potato stacks. They're really interesting. I didn't, potato box. Why is my phone beeping? It's supposed to be off. Potato boxes. And sweet potatoes are better to grow, folks, because sweet potatoes you can grow and actually live off of a sweet potato because of the protein and everything that's in them. So these are just a few, folks, just a few of the dozens. Fire causes over $150,000 in damage in San Antonio food processing plant. Now, yes, fires and things like this happening in plants all the time, a couple times a year. But again, there's a few people out there, I can't remember her name on YouTube that I watched. Someone sent me, one of y'all sent it to me. And what was sent was awesome about her research and how many dozens, over almost 2 dozen at least, factories, food processing plants, meat factories, a lot of meat factories, my friends, a lot of meat factories. Thank you, Brenda, with infinite love and gratitude for your contributions. So, again, folks, this is crazy. And I know there's people out here that have connections or work in food processing plants. Y'all need to do something with your security, with your video cameras, because they are sabotaging our food systems. And this is nothing in comparison to what's about to come. So, let's move on with some more predictions and more stuff. So, a breakdown of our systems, and again, I put out to y'all in UK and Canada, it's coming your way with this weird attack on our food systems and our food production plants and our processing plants that's happening in America right now. So keep an eye, and again, y'all that are watching, leave comments, leave news links, anything like that you have for me. Always leave it here on YouTube comments. That's where I'm going to see it. Please do not send it to me through my office email. Best place is to leave it in comments. I do look at those links, so you know. I do look at them. And y'all, when you post links, sometimes there's somebody that posts a lot of YouTube links. I don't always let them all go through. But at least put a title of what it is, because if there's no title, I delete it. It's just a link, and people don't know what it is. They're not going to click on it. So put a title on there, you know, if you're going to leave any links to anything. And I appreciate your links. This is how I get this information. So be aware, y'all, especially UK was the first one that Spirit told me today. Canada and other countries will follow in this, you know, disasters happening. Thank you, Sherry Berry. You're so sweet. We love Sherry Berry. Major rioting is going to take place globally as food supplies are cut short. Governments will attempt to control and ration food while banning people from growing food in certain countries and certain areas. Again, another sign, folks. Did you know Bill Gates, that devil worshiper, bought almost all the farmland and is the biggest farmland owner in the United States? And you know, most of those farms, if you start doing your research, they stopped farming. They stopped farming. And you know, they'll produce their own top-of-the-line meat and tell you you're not allowed to. You got to eat veggie burgers or whatever other crap they put on your table that aren't even good for you if you buy them frozen. Nothing that you buy processed is good for you. Major rioting. Okay, so I mentioned months ago that there would be problems that would arise around railroad systems. You remember that, y'all? Remember when I was talking about the one railroad system up north from Canada to the United States, and something would sabotage that? And I'm pretty sure that all happened, actually. And if it didn't, then this goes alongside with it. Soon we're going to see an attack on shipping companies. Just popped in my brain too. Think of the plane and the poor girl that was killed and the secret attack that this pilot knew nothing about. They probably sabotaged her plane. That flew into, I don't know which one she flew into, the potato factory, I think. Or maybe it was the Kellogg's. One of them, one of those plane crashes. Was a UPS plane. A shipping plane. Get it? Shipping. I would like to know what was on that plane that she was shipping. That would be interesting. Anybody got any information on that? Please leave that below. Please, please, please. So moving on to this transport issue and what's coming up. Mainly those responsible for transporting food. That's what you're going to see. This attack on shipping companies. We already see it at our ports, right? In our port system, you know, and this puppet president, you know, blocking everything while these ships sit out at sea. And now we got lazy people who don't want to work because the government's paying them more money to sit on their butt. It's just unbelievable what's happening in the world right now. Thank you. I don't know what to call you. We'll call you Yarmy. I truly thank you. Thank you. I just saw that pop up. Warren Buffett's son is in Arizona. They bought or leased a ton of lands and sprayed to kill the grounds. Be interested to see if that's true and like get some validation on that. If anybody got information on that, again, leave it down below in the comments. I could talk about that next week. Going back to the sabotages in the railway system. An attempt to block the railway system by sabotaging the railway, causing a major derailment and taking out a major bridge crossing as well. And I talked about these derailments and things before. This one looks major, like they're taking, and I think it could be two separate things that I'm seeing. You know, because one looked like a derailment, sabotage train tracks. And they're not going to tell you that. Of course, they're not, you know, when they do their investigation, they're going to tell you it was some kind of accident or blame it on the poor guy that was driving the train. That's usually what they do. And then I saw a vision of a big train bridge collapsing. It looked like literally like it was being blown up, actually. But in the whole side. So it was up high, too, in the side of the mountain. Even part of the mountain was. So maybe they'll make it earthquake related. I don't know. But that's what Spirit showed me in a vision today. This morning. And let me tell you about this that somebody sent me too, or posted it on my social media. Union Pacific curtails fertilizer shipments, delaying deliveries and preventing new rail orders from being taken. You notice all this stuff with the fertilizers happening in the springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. And I guarantee in another month or so, when we don't need fertilizer and it's too late for them to be growing a couple months from now, fertilizer you'll be able to get without a problem. Kind of like they did with swimming pools and chlorine last year. Remember last year with the chlorine, how quadrupled in price right before season? Yeah, so a lot of these corporations that are part of the web of darkness are all in on it, and they're taking advantage because they're being told to make millions and millions of dollars to go back into their web of darkness to support their big evil spider. So, CF Industries Holdings Incorporated, a leading global manufacturer of hydrogen and nitrogen products, today informed customers that it serves by Union Pacific Rail Lines that railroad mandated shipping restrictions would result in nitrogen fertilizer shipping delays. Yeah, of course they're going to delay it until they don't need it now. It's too late, right? During the spring application season, and that it would be unable to accept new rail sales involving Union Pacific for the foreseeable future. The company understands it is one of 30 companies to face these restrictions. Union Pacific's going to have major issues. That's coming to me now. So this is the other thing about tuning in live, because more stuff comes to me. Union Pacific, and there's going to be some type of big striking that happens with Union Pacific workers, especially in the southern railway lines, and then even at the top corner of the United States near Washington and Oregon. And North Dakota, all up in that area. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. That just came to me, so that's not in my written notes at all. So let's move on. Where'd my notes go? There they are. So this is something that should be very concerning, folks. Very concerning about the fires at the food processing plants. Did you know that Indonesia just canceled all its exports on palm oil? And Ukraine's safflower oil, of course, is off the market completely. Sunflower oil, I'm sorry, not safflower, sunflower flour. I can talk today. Ukraine sunflower oil is off the market. So that's just a couple. I just made note of a couple important ones. I mean, the list is endless. So, that's another thing. I mean, I stocked up on olive oil because I don't use any of the others, but I've been stocking up and I always keep an extra aside. I use lots of olive oil. And so, like I said, folks, it's important. Now's the time to start stocking up. There's certain things you're not going to be able to get it. They're only going to allow you to get what they want you to get. And one of the biggest things that they want to cut us out of is meat, poultry, all of it. They want to force you to be eating grass. Not smoking it either, just eating it. So, in turn, you're going to see that happen next too, and this is coming to me now, even though I've said it in the past. Now you're going to see a big contamination that they're going to say that's going on beyond even the bird flu with chickens. I already noticed the price of chicken going up quite a bit. Then there's going to be some kind of beef scare that they're going to do, saying that the beef's tainted or something. They're going to throw it all away. And this is all coming by midsummer, folks. So if, even with meat and all, like if there's like you're a steak person or whatever, stock up on it. Even if you're a potato person, stock up on it, my friends, stock up on it. Let's move on to the next subjects. So again, French fries. I talked about a shortage in French fries like a while ago. And then someone's told me, and again, our friends in Japan will hopefully validate that their McDonald's in Japan is limiting French fries. Soon, I told you, McDonald's is going to have major issues. Many chains in many countries are not going to have fries at all. And then in turn, this is going to put a major damper on the stock, the market value of McDonald's. That'll plummet too. I told you that many fast food chains are going to be forced out of business. Not just because of the potatoes, but these are things I said before that I'm just, reminding you all about. Which is good. We don't need that fast food crap anymore. I don't need that crap. Let's talk about beans. We're talking about food and everything else. What about the fight for water? And water is the most important thing. We can't have anything without water. And that's another thing with their, spraying the chemicals in their geoengineering process and manipulating weather patterns and causing droughts. I said in my Friday video, and I'll just repeat it quickly today, that they're going to flood out the plains this year. Areas where they are able to grow, because a lot of places are not, I saw visions of flat plains of fields and fields of, vegetables, corn too. And speaking of corn, I'll talk about corn again in a minute, because there's something new about that actually. So the water, they're going to flood out an area that's going to be, normally dry and good. It's going to go suddenly really dry. They're going to have like heat wave, drought, dryness, and this will be the area for all of us to watch. Thinking about this, Spirit shows me it's going to go to drought, which is odd for that area, before major floods to flood out the plains and ruin all of their crops. So folks, anybody farmers out there, pray for them. Hold their farms, especially in the lower plains, in the light so that they don't end up getting flooded. And this doesn't happen. Putting this stuff out there, we can shift things through positive thought, holding things in the light, and then getting out information of what the darkness plans to do. Which is another thing I'm going to talk about a little bit, what it has to do with UFOs and aliens. We got lots of cool subjects to cover today. The fight for water. Just a quick mention of that because I again, discussed it many, many times in detail. But the fight for water, you're going to see start to escalate alongside of food. And this is going to, they're going to cause certain wells to go dry, is what Spirit tells me now. Meaning that, they're going to dry out certain areas. I told you in one of my predictions, I don't remember all the details about them stealing the water and making it all go to an underground cavern, and we'll notice this when all these lakes suddenly go empty too fast because they're going to screw up their process and take too much at once. So this is the fight for water, my friends. The fight for water. I see a lot of spigots. Spirit shows me spigots being turned on and nothing coming out. Drip, 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 drip. So certain areas are going to be losing water, starting around the United States, and spreading again Canada and other areas that are, prone to always having water. So it'll be a bigger struggle for those, who have had water access and don't know what it's like not to have water. That's coming during the summer months, especially July, tells me, says the spirits. Spirits meaning my team of guides that stand behind me and around me and beside me. And you got a team of guides too, don't forget that. So the fight. And there's a fight over the Hoover Dam. And I've mentioned the Hoover Dam, and I'm telling you, I have no doubt that they have some kind of plan to take that dam down. As maybe like a 911 type event. And the fight for water is going to have something to do with that, and it's going to be their excuse to pose a attack on that dam. Besides that, I see that dam in bad shape as it is, and cracking and major issues, to the point that it would cost them millions and millions to repair the current damages to the Hoover Dam, according to Spirit. This is coming up really soon, says Spirit. Really, really soon. How soon, Spirit? Early summer, so keep an eye as far as issues over the Hoover Dam. I don't know if that has to do with it going away, but going back to corn. Remember I told you all to invest in corn. It might have sounded crazy. It might have sounded corny for me to tell you to invest in corn, but those who did already, I think, doubled their money. Interesting thing. But here's the thing I wanted to mention about corn. Did you know that meat producers are now reacting as Biden issues an emergency waiver that now allows the selling of gasoline with 15% ethanol? Right? Okay, so Mr. Environmental, supposed to be helping save the world, not allowing you to have gas or anything, is now allowing them to put toxic ethanol in the gas that causes more pollution and more problems with green. So this was put out Tuesday, April 19th. That President J.B. issued an emergency waiver that allows gasoline stations nationwide to start selling gasoline with 15% ethanol. With the record high prices and soaring levels not seen since 1981, Biden effectively paused a federal government regulation that prohibits this biofuel mixture in the summer to limit smog. Biden's action, however, could lead to higher meat prices due to the increased demand for corn. I told you about meat 5 minutes ago. I didn't even think about this till now. There you go. Anything to deprive the meat market. Sure, you're supposed to be Mr. Green, Mr. Environmental, and forcing us to do things, solar and everything else, and now you're going to go and pollute the planet just purposely to act like that's going to change and lower gas prices and to cut off the cattle market and the meat market. Sad, folks, sad, very, very sad. Let's move on. I talked about a while ago, and I said this a couple years ago, and it happened. And then I said it again not that long ago about social media and social media serial killer. This isn't quite the serial killer one. I don't think it is. I'm bringing the article up now that one of you sent me. But this is a social media murder that I said we're going to start to see this weird flux of social media murders being caught live on social media platforms. I said that, and again, it started happening. It happened 2 years ago, but just like, I think twice after I said it. But now, I said earlier this year that that's going to happen along with a serial killer. Kind of like, it's almost like a movie, like Saw or something, or Saw 2, or 3, or 5, or 7, 10, 11, however many of those there are. So, a man in Louisiana has been charged after a woman was choked and stabbed to death on a live stream video, according to the police. The Baton Rouge Department arrested and charged Earl Lee J. Johnson Jr., 35, with first-degree murder for the killing of the 33-year-old Janice David on Monday evening. Doesn't say what platform, though. Doesn't say what platform. Oh, yeah, it was FB. It was the FB platform live. It's kind of crazy and sick. Just thought I'd bring that story to light. And we can move on to the next one. Cannabis and cannabis legalization. Which I find to be... I was just talking to my buddy about this, about CBD. Do y'all remember, like, they even did a CBD for the little girl Charlotte? They did the strain called Charlotte's Web that helped her, who had, like, dozens and dozens of seizures a day, going down to almost none, maybe even none at one point. And this guy had to smuggle it across lines, and they knew who he was and wanted to take him down for CBD. Nothing THC, CBD. And now all of a sudden, this legalization of marijuana is happening, starting with medical and then moving on. First of all, it cracks me up that these hippie people that like smoke their weed and they're all vegan and non-GMO. Oh no, does that have a genetic GMO in it? And they don't realize that that weed they smoke is a GMO. It's like the corn on the planet. 99% of the corn and 99% of the cannabis today is now genetically modified. But at the same time, if it's used correctly, which again, if it's used correctly, it is definitely has amazing medicinal properties, especially even CBD. But legalizing marijuana lowers the demand for prescription drugs, a study has found. Yes, the reductions in drug utilization that we find could lead to significant cost savings for state Medicaid programs. The results also indicate an opportunity to reduce the harm that can come with dangerous side effects associated with some prescription drugs, one researcher said. The Cornell University researchers analyzed data from the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services in all 50 states. They found a decline in the volume of prescriptions targeting pain, depression, anxiety, sleep, psychosis, and seizures in the states that have legalized recreational marijuana use. 37 states, in the District of Columbia currently permit the use of medical marijuana with a prescription, and they should. So I just thought I'd put that out to you. Isn't that interesting? I said that's why the medical community had such a fit about it. Now they're going to get their dirty little paws in the marijuana field. You watch. If they're not already got their dirty little paws in it. But I thought that was interesting that now people are starting to get off medications because of their ability to use cannabis. It's a wonderful thing. Solar flares. Remember last week and even the week before I talked about major solar flares. And the worry that eventually these solar flares are going to take out significant communications and even electrical grids. This article was from just recently. Where was it? The 20th. So it was last Wednesday. The sun emitted a massive solar flare with potential to impact satellite communications. The sun unleashed a massive solar flare on Wednesday, which has the potential to impact satellite communications and global positioning systems. The Center of Excellence in Space Sciences, India, said. The X2.2 class solar flare took place at 3:57 UTC from the solar magnetic active region on April, or it doesn't say April, AP12992. Solar flares are very powerful, as we know. But I just thought I'd bring that up. That was a day after last week's show that occurred, and we had that massive solar flare. These are all warnings, my friends. Small warnings from our divine creator, letting us know to prepare. You know, what are you going to do if you don't have power or electric? Do you have another source? Thank you, Mara, with infinite love and gratitude. And welcome to the Silver Tribe. And thank you, Jillian, with infinite love and gratitude as well. You can become a part of the tribe. Hit the subscribe, and you can join the community down below. And you can join the Awaken Your Spirit community on Subscribestar down below. Again, I thank you for your love and support. Let's move on. So sunflowers are going to be a big thing, and I'll be doing a lot more talking about them. I just wanted to bring up that article because I just mentioned that huge record-breaking winds were coming, and not long after we had that one last week. Did you know, just another odd piece of information for you all that you can research as well yourself. I watched a little thing on it, and I thought it was fascinating that, you know, traffic deaths in the year 2020 skyrocketed. Do you remember 2020? We were on global lockdown. How is there a record-breaking amount of traffic accident deaths in 2020? Mostly of African Americans in America. Not that has anything to do with it, but it's just I thought it was an interesting piece. Why all these people die in accidents back in 2020? I don't know. I just thought that was interesting to bring up today. Let's talk about Twitter and Elon Musk, the man that they hate so bad right now. Ah, boy. Or do they really? Because I told you, Spirit told me that nothing is as it appears to be, and don't trust, because even the dark has people that are there to oppose as the light. And actually, Spirit told me that a long time ago through Shamanic Journey. Even in Shamanic Journey, when we go into those trance states of consciousness to journey, there could be spirit allies that aren't allies, that are actually dark that poses light. So if we have that in shamanic work, when we do shamanic journeying, we definitely have that in the world. On the physical level, Lucifer is the trickster. He is deceptive. He poses as the light bearer, right? Anyway, an attack against Elon Musk, that's happening now, but not like what's about to happen. People are leaving Twitter, which is kind of funny. People are leaving Twitter because they're mad because of the whole situation. As you know, I mean, I don't even need to be the news on that right now because I'm sure y'all are aware of that. That, you know, those who are against free speech, basically. Those who do not want free speech. But I will say at the same time, you know, he says anything goes on there. I know I've been a target of harassment on there from one specific phony psychic out there. Psycho is more like it. And that gets away with it and gets away with it until finally they did take their Twitter page down. But I bet you they're back up now. So, just thought, you know, it has to still be monitored to a certain point. Yes, I'm all about free speech, but I'm not about attacking people and people attacking each other. That I don't like. And that's not free speech, that's attack. You can, you know, voice your opinion and speak freely without doing so in an attacking type of vibe or energy or method. Just saying. So they're going to attempt to sabotage Twitter and take out Musk somehow. And they are like in a frenzy right now trying to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to take this. So it's going to be really interesting. Let's see where that goes. Sorry, where'd my thing go? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So eventually that's what they're going to do. And eventually Twitter's going to be doing tumble salts around the other social media platforms. I know that Mark Zuckerberg's got to be pooping in his pants right now. Without a doubt that we need to send Mark Zuckerberg some, you know, Depends to help him get around town. Even though he'll have that attitude, like, oh, I'm Facebook, and nothing's going to block that. Facebook will cease to exist in the future. And that doesn't mean that his metaverse is going to be the new. No, it's just Spirit told me a long time ago that they would all cease to exist. So again, if Musk don't take Twitter in a totally different direction, including even with the name, perhaps would be important, because otherwise the name has an energy and a vibration to it. In numerology, everything, I'll have to look into the numerology of Twitter and what it says. Actually, I'll do that over the next week. That'll be interesting to see what that has to do with. But otherwise, he might do tumble salts around them. But until they make an attempt to actually, on Twitter, to charge a fee, forcing those with huge followings to end up having to pay. And you know what? Facebook did the same thing on my Facebook, fan page. I even used to pay to run ads to get my page out there in the beginning, before television and all that. And then all of a sudden, Facebook made it where you have to pay. Like, for me to post something on my page on Facebook, if you don't go in and change your notifications so that you get them from that page, you're never ever going to see anything that I post on there. And they do it on purpose. They make you pay to put it out to people. And if you put links in, like if I were to do my newsletter link, they purposely will limit anybody at all from seeing it, because they want to make sure that you pay to get it out there. So that's what Facebook did, and I'm telling you, Twitter's going to do something just the same. Personally, I could care less, because I barely even use it. I don't even go on there. I post stuff, but that's it. But this is going to bring issues with an attack against Twitter. And it's going to get really, really, really dirty with this attack. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch on the outskirts. Good. It'll be a good match to watch. Like a boxing match. Not that I watch boxing, and I just lost my spot. So it's going to get really dirty. Facebook's going to begin to see a drop in their market values. This is going to be a result maybe of Twitter, or maybe not. But Spirit said that they are going to have a significant drop in value. Facebook. Probably both of them in the long run. I discussed it back past the borders, and an issue that would arise when a few Americans take border control in their own hands. Well, I had disturbing visions this morning when I was doing this, or this was last night before bed, actually. Explosions I kept seeing along the border. And I kept hearing sounds. It sounded like gunshots. I don't know if it was gunshots, but it sounded like gunshots. And then I just saw fire along the borders. I saw, things blowing up on the borders. Not saying that there's a terrorist attack bomb. I mean, it could be a fire at a propane place. Not that it is, I'm just saying. That's the vision I had. And it had to do with the borders. And it probably had to do with my prediction where I said that these people are going to take border patrol in their own hands. It almost appears like a small war. That's literally what it looked like to me. A vision of a small war on the borders. And likely, probably Texas. May 16th. And I don't know, this I must have wrote last week, because it was at the top of my notes when I opened them up last night to do my outline. May 16th, 2022. Shall be a huge mark in time and the fight against darkness. The darkness lets itself be seen brightly in the skies. I don't know what any of that means. Again, this is what Spirit said. Again, it will be a huge mark in time and in the fight against the darkness. Darkness will let itself be seen brightly in the skies. I don't know any of what that means, but right after that, not that everything's in order or connected to each other, but the next thing that I got right after that from Spirit was earthquakes and tsunamis. Again, go back to my weather video that I did a couple of weeks ago, and then on next week, next Wednesday, and I'll let you know for sure Tuesday I will do the next weather video. Try to do them the first week of every month. See what's going on. My last video was mostly covering hurricane names and a lot about hurricanes. So if you're in a hurricane prone area, you're going to want to watch last weather video. So make sure you go back and check that out. Be sure to subscribe down below. Don't forget to give me a like, yo. Got lots more still to talk about. Not lots more, but I got lots of predictions. I'm more into the prediction area of today's show. Yeah, I see an issue. This one was kind of disturbing. This was this morning that I had this vision. I think it was this morning or last night before bed. Uh, the vision that Spirit showed me appeared to be what looked like maybe the Lincoln Tunnel, but I'm not sure. And I've been through the link. Thank you, MH and Rami, or whatever that says. I can't see. Sorry, I can't go back and forth. My ADDHD won't let me. So I see a problem with water seeping through a tunnel, especially that which cannot be seen. So Spirit showed me water kind of seeping through a tunnel, but then showed me the other side, like as if I was a bug in the dirt, and showed me how it was like being affected on the inside where we couldn't see it, where the naked eye couldn't see it, which makes it even all the worst, right? And I saw a potential collapse, or at least I definitely saw a flooding of a tunnel and tunnels. And I see them in my visions using like fire department using big pumps to pump the water out of this tunnel. And I'm 95% sure this is the Lincoln Tunnel in New York City, which goes underneath the river. I'll be right with you, precious. So next one. New York City and a few other places, especially New York City, are about to endure some very difficult times into the summer and fall season. And again, to find out more about that, it's important to subscribe down below, tune in, and keep up with the notifications. I didn't get much detail, but Spirit told me New York City, LA, perhaps even Chicago, Philadelphia, and even Miami. Those are all the ones that pop into mind. Are going to have very difficult season this season. And I think that has to do a lot with weather, but also other events that are coming up with the food shortages and with water and the power grids or power outages that are going to be hitting hard this summer. That's going to be the next area that Spirit's telling me right now. I'm getting this information right now that's one of the next areas they're going to start hitting in the summer months is the power grid areas, like taking out people's power on hot days on, just here and there before they do major messing with grids. So just when the lights go down in the city, I had a vision of the Midwest and I saw it being hit with a huge tornado, and I said this to you before. I'm going back to that vision. It was the widest and longest path Spirit showed me months ago. I think it might be in my weather video. Well, I believe that time is approaching, and that event could take place in the month of May. But again, tune into my weather predictions next week for more information. And there's about to be a huge uptake in UFO sightings. Yes. But let me go back to the tornado for a minute, because I thought that next line was about tornadoes still. I saw an uptake in tornadoes, though. I saw like a whole bunch of something huge. Not necessarily connected to the big one that I had visions of, or likely could be connected to the big one that I saw. But thank you. Sorry. But I saw these tornadoes breaking out, and I believe this is all coming in May. So we'll look at that. Body Feel Good is the person's name that just sent some love and support. Thank you. Yeah, so going back to UFOs and aliens, my friends. Elon Musk is one, an alien. There's going to be a huge, and I mean huge, is what Spirit told me, uptake in UFO sightings beginning in the United States, Mexico, and Canada for some odd reason, and then quickly spreading globally. This is going to be a fear tactic, according to Spirit. A fear tactic. I was told that most of them are fake. What's that mean exactly, fake? Oh, well, I guess like hologramic stuff or things like that. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute, because we know they can do that. But this is going to be something as a fear tactic. Although I tell y'all that now is the time for all of us to keep an eye in the skies. And I've been doing that a lot lately. I can't wait till we finish the deck out back so I can sit out there at night and watch the stars. It's a great view out here, actually, even out front. But I like to sit out back. Dog likes to go out there. Can't do that out front. Huge uptake, so folks, keep an eye to the sky. Keep your cameras nearby. Huge uptake, and this is all leading to something that they plan that I don't know if they'll be successful with. They were planning this for a while, but with their fake alien invasion attack, getting us in this place of fear over aliens. So keep your eye to the sky, and let me tell you about two things that kind of validate this too. Lately, have you noticed lately, they've been talking about alien invasions, and this is why. Apparently, I'll read one of these articles to you. Beaming a location of Earth to alien life comes with risks, says scientists. So apparently these scientists want to beam a light into outer space to a galaxy to where they believe there's life. And they're now, this is a big story, and they're saying, oh, well, this is dangerous, and this can bring, this can bring major issues with them, attacking us, letting them know where we are. Haven't we been doing that for decades? Haven't we been doing that for decades? Haven't they been shooting signals out for decades? They made a movie out of it with what's her name? Oh God, from Silence of the Lambs, Jodie Foster. They made a movie. Like they've been doing this forever. They even got feedback if you watch the movie based on a true story. And now all of a sudden there's this story out there all over the place saying, oh, well, they're going to beam a beam out to space and, they're going to do it anyway. And we're afraid there's going to be an alien attack because of it. Letting them know where we are. First of all, anyone they know, if they're that advanced, they already know, and they're probably already here. As many different galactic brothers and sisters from different galaxies have been visiting this planet for thousands of years, before probably we were even here. Well, definitely before we've been here. But the risks associated with a new proposal to beam Earth's position in details about humans to possible that's weird, to possible alien life should be taken very seriously, says a scientist. A scientist warned. A NASA-led team has unveiled plans to transmit the beacon in the galaxy to extraterrestrial intelligence within the Milky Way galaxy. Well, at least it's the Milky Way, because we know that's where the what do you call it's come from? I just totally drew a blank. The good ones. So the message sent through a beamed radio wave could include basic mathematical and physical concepts to establish a universal means of communication, as well as information detailing the biochemical composition of life on Earth. And it could be a total risk and a warning that aliens are going to attack. Okay, so that's that. Oh shoot, my computer's gonna die. Oh shoot, hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. Your ice skate on the floor. I'm almost done. Sorry, girl. All right, my computer's gonna die. My apologies. Thank you for your patience and hanging out with me on this Tittle Tuesday. Whew, I got a head rush. All right, there we go. We're plugged in. We're good. We're rocking and rolling. Let's move on. See, I got a list of quite a few new predictions for y'all. But let me go back to the alien thing and tell you the next thing. That, again, proves that what Spirit just told me last night about an influx of UFO sightings as a fear tactic, and most of them would be fake. Not even because our militaries already have their own, reversed engineered UFOs. That's a fact too. And a lot of the ones that people see, especially around places like Area 51, are government craft. If Spirit says they're fake, then they're not. They're not neither. They're holographic. So did you know that recently on the 18th, a doctor was holoported onto an international space station, just like out of the show Star Trek? A lifelike digital rendering of a NASA doctor has appeared on the International Space Station as a hologram. The technology was developed by, guess who? Microsoft, the other devil worshippers, and that Gates dude. And the first to put it to use was the European Space Agency astronauts. In Star Trek, crew aboard the Starship Enterprise would beam up and teleport to other ships or worlds. And the 21st century technology is bringing the show now to life. That is creepy. So, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it looks like the dude. But don't you remember, this isn't new. You remember when they did like Elvis on stage with his daughter singing and it looked just like him on stage and it was really creepy? They did it with Michael Jackson too. So like, this is old news. What? Because they beamed it up into the space station? Come on, y'all. They've been doing that probably for decades and we just don't know about it. They're only just now telling us about it. This shows that they can put holograms in the sky and make you think it's as real as can be. And then they could put an airplane behind that hologram of the UFO and start shooting stuff down at us and making us think we're being attacked. So remember this, because, you know, I think that that's when they're going to be desperate. If they do that, that's like the darkness' last move on humanity. That would be the last move. So let's hope like they're taken out before they get that last move. And y'all, people are woken up to this because it's been put out. It's been put out, I think, even by Dr. Stephen Greer. And you know, once we put it out there and people know about it, it won't, you know, we can stop these things from happening. Speaking of things that are happening, you know that the Federal Reserve is going to collapse soon. And I mentioned a while back that like the crypto future currency of the world, to know whether it's the darkness currency or if it's the light's currency, we would know because it would have to be completely 100% backed by gold. Otherwise it's fake, and that's what Spirit told me. Well, now we see Russia going back to the gold standard. Do you remember Gaddafi? Do you remember what happened with Gaddafi before they went and took him out? He was changing his money over to the gold standard. That's what Russia's doing. Makes you wonder why they want Russia so bad, right? China's going to follow in their footsteps. China has more gold than anyone on the planet. But, you know, don't forget, the Luciferians have a lot of gold. They've been collecting it since World War II. So there's going to be a big collapse with that. And again, gold's a good place to invest. It's gone up. I'd still say silver is better. And even corn, because corn's going up. Now, anything that has to do with food could be a great investment. Spirit's telling me this now. Shipping companies, we're going to start seeing bankruptcy coming across with shipping companies like, say, the big freight companies, but also UPS, Federal Express, companies like that. You're going to see bankruptcy because they're going to try to collapse the shipping companies into one shipping company. So you are dependent on that. And somehow or another, I guarantee Amazon will be weaved into that. Guaranteed. That's what they're trying to do. And Spirit just now told me that. Moving on to North Korea. North Korea, you know how it got awfully quiet with North Korea and all that, and then just not that long ago, they were testing rockets again. And then I read that to you a couple Tuesdays ago about his sister coming out and doing all the speaking. And I told you, man, that man is either dead or on his deathbed. And she's worse than he is, actually. Like, I saw her eyes. That woman's she's just as evil. It's probably the demons that control them. Major events are going to start coming out of North Korea. I also saw, and I had this vision in the past, maybe a year ago, and sometimes it takes 2 to 3 years for some of my visions to come into fruition. So this could be right about the time where that original, I did a video actually on it. You have to go back specifically on Kim Jong-un. And I think that time's now approaching this year. And there's going to be a collapse completely of North Korea. Speaking of collapses, I had a disturbing vision this morning of a large bridge collapsing. A large bridge. And the vision that Spirit showed me literally looked like something out of a movie. The vision appeared like it was daylight. And it was busy traffic. It looked like a city. Right after that, last show I forgot to tell you this. Thank you, Arnica. Washington State keeps popping up in my mind all week, and it's driving me insane. So Washington, my friends out there in Washington State, because we have lots of them, be safe. I think that you're going to get hit really hard soon, likely with major weather event like a earthquake that could turn tsunami. The waters are boiling, Spirit says. The waters are boiling. What's that mean? So that waters are boiling, Spirit says, and I say, what's that mean? That means underground volcanic activity, and the waters are boiling, which means something is about to blow really soon with that and more. So again, all the more reasons, subscribe down below. Catch me next Tuesday's show and next Wednesday for my second weather prediction video. Go back to my others weather video for hurricanes and such. Hunter B will soon see what it's like to be held accountable. Again, Hunter B will soon see what it's like to be held accountable. Again, I stick to my first prediction about that Hunter dude back in 2020, where I said that like he's gonna be taken out, but Hunter will soon be hunted, like the animal that he is what Spirit said. Hunter will soon be hunted like the animal he is, and likely taken out. He's causing too much of a flight risk for them, kind of like sicko, what's his name, Epstein, just like that. I see a large fire along a coastline of what appeared to me in my vision to be somewhere maybe along California or definitely the West Coast. Some type of ship fire, maybe? I don't know, but it looked like the water was on fire. So something happening along the water. That's all I got out of that vision. And two other things. Oh, wait, I got more than two other things. Growth of tent camps. A large tent city will grow, as does the crime and its issues. Like a city is what Spirit showed me. A large tent city. So it's already a tent city that's going to grow the size of a city. It's already a tent, land with lots of tent people. Homeless people, I'm sorry. Tent people. I don't know where that came from. But it's going to grow along with the crime and the issues. That's all I got. Hopefully I'll tune in and get more. Controversy around the Tucker Carlson show. But major, I know there was in the past, but something major is what Spirit showed me coming up really soon. An attack towards him, kind of like Twitter. And then something also came up to me around Saturday Night Live. Is that show even on television anymore? Does anybody even watch that crap? Or that network? And those devil, one of the many devil networks. But I saw controversy, or something, not controversy, but something big, and probably controversy, actually. It means I got controversy with Tucker Carlson. But Saturday Night Live. But even more so, I think that the show might be going dead. And then Spirit plays the So, the Eiffel Tower will fall. I told you all about attacks on the Eiffel Tower and things were going to happen around the Eiffel Tower. Terroristic wise, but now I have no doubt that tower will eventually fall, just like that's what their plan is, just like the symbol of the Statue of Liberty underwater, and the visions I've had of that underwater many times, and it's in the movies, it's in the Illuminati cards. Last but least, folks, I'm gonna sing a song for you. Ding dong, the queen is dead, the queen is dead. Not that that's funny, but soon after London bridges falling down. Two songs. Ding dong, the queen is dead. The queen is dead. And London bridges falling down. Both of those. Major controversy will soon come out of the palace. This is already happening behind castle gates. But that will soon leak out. This will majorly bring down the health of the queen, whatever this big, once it gets out, will majorly bring down the health of the queen, which is already deteriorating. And soon that lizard woman will go. But soon we will start to begin, Spirit showed me, soon you're all going to start to begin to see replacements doing the jobs that the queen would normally do. Anywhere that the queen would normally show up, things she would normally do, they're showing me that you will soon see replacements doing her jobs, and then excuses of her not being at very significant events. And that's when you know that she's on her deathbed, says Spirit. So again, at first you'll see people taking her place, replacements doing the jobs, or her not doing their being at places she normally would be at, and then big events that like she would be expected to be at without a doubt is when we're going to see cancellations with that, and that's when you'll know she's on her deathbed, but they're not going to be telling you. And then they'll even show you a wave, a fake wave, her waving from a window or from somewhere, balcony, and it won't be her. It'll be a like a stunt double, says Spirit. When you see her on the balcony waving and smiling, it's not her. It's not a clone. It's just a look-alike. Okay, that's what Spirit says. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And y'all, thank you for clicking and giving me a little like, because I love you a lot. So a little like would be great. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, the bell, the all. Thank you all. If I missed you, and I apologize, but thank you all for your contributions in the chat cash and those who sent things through PayPal, because I know you do, and it's much better because YouTube takes 30%. So with that said, oh, speaking of PayPal, did you know that they dropped, I think, 15% in their last quarter? They're going to drop and fall greatly as well. Did you know one of the founders of that is responsible and the supporter of funds the geoengineering and the chemicals they spray? Another little tidbit information for you all. So until the next time, my dear beautiful friends, I do have a plan to do an upload video this week before the 1st, because I want to use up my data beforehand. So I'm going to work on that tonight. It's a very interesting, very disturbing information that I discovered recently. Well, not recently, a couple years ago, but now there's more to it. So I'm going to go over this in a upload video because it's the best way for me to do it. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you don't forget to hang out with me each and every Tuesday. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and wish you lots of love, lots of light, and lots of thanks and gratitude. Till the next time, Spiritman J.T. signing off for the day, giving you a namaste. Much love, my beautiful friends.